Girl, you fly and ghetto with them brand new high heel stilettos. Smell like we.
Is streaming harder than working a 9-to-5 job? Before I get into like anybody else's opinions on it, and then my final opinion on it, this is my opinion before explaining anything else. To me, I think it depends. Like, it depends on what type of streamer you are and what type of 9-to-5 job you're working, you know? Now, if you're just working at a regular grocery store or like Walmart, for example, 9-to-5 working at Walmart, compared to streaming, I would say that Walmart would be physically quite a bit more difficult than just streaming. Now, there are different types of streamers. Some streamers just sit in the chair, and then there are some streamers that are IRL streamers. Like, they stream IRL and do things like in real time, and it's just recorded live. So that's my opinion on it. I'm a little bit in the middle. I'm not on one over the other. I just really think it depends on what type of 9-to-5 it is and what type of streamer you are. And as a streamer, most of the time you're sitting in front of your camera talking to your audience. Now, if you're good with talking to your audience, then eventually you're going to attract more people, because it shows that you are handling your audience well. You know that they're there. You're not just sucked into whatever your attention's on. Like, you're doing what you're doing, but then at the same time showing that you are paying attention to your audience. So the first person's opinion I have received, like on a live and from a streamer, Duke Dennis. Most of you should know who Duke Dennis is, and if you guys don't, look him up. But I listened to his first opinion, and now I'm gonna have you guys listen to it, and I'm gonna put it up on the screen now.
Is not harder than a 9-to-5. Streaming is a hobby that you looked up and you made it your career. Making content is a hobby. Being a content creator is a hobby. Something you do on your fucking free time. If you work hard enough at it, like Kai said, turn it into a career, congratulations. But bro, never compare having to get up and go to work when somebody else say so, get off work when somebody else say so. You gotta ask somebody else if you can relax. Hey, boss, I don't feel good. Can I have the day off? No, I still gotta come in? Okay, bet. And you gotta go to work, or else you're broke. Or else you broke. With streaming, never compare that shit, bro. That's what.
So in short, I low-key agree with Duke's mindset on that. Like, you're going off of somebody else's time. You're going off of, because like when you have a job, you can make your own schedule and stuff according to you, but in reality, you still are going off of their time a little bit. And when I say you're going off of their time a little bit, like he said, you gotta ask when to relax. You gotta like schedule with them, when do you want to relax. Like, you can't just say, you know what, I want to relax at this time. You kind of have to go off of their time, if that makes sense. Like, you have some time on your own. Like I said, with some jobs, you're able to be flexible with what hours you work, and they're willing to work with you, but they are still your boss. Like, they hire and fire, you know? Like, they hire and fire you whenever, pretty much. Like, they're your boss, ultimately. So, I agree with his mindset on that, but I'm still in the middle on it depends, because even though, like, the regular job, they are your boss, and when you're streaming, you could be your own boss and manage your own time according to you. Even that is still difficult. If you are not used to managing your own time well, you can't be a good streamer. And him saying that streaming and stuff, even content creating, saying that that's a hobby, I kind of agree on that, but at the same time, it depends on how you look at it. because in reality, content creating and streaming could have been a reality for Duke, but he turned it into a career. You know, because some people, when they do it from the jump and show the amount of seriousness they have for it, you know. Now, there's another streamer. His name is Hassan, I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure if y'all know who he is, but he is also another streamer who had his take on streaming being harder than a 9-to-5. And let's just say his outlook on it was a little bit different. Well, no, not even different. He just had he just worded it differently, you know. He worded it a little bit differently than Duke did.
Yes, a real job can be gruesome. A real job can make you very tired, but a real job doesn't suck the soul out of you. You know what I mean? In the same way that 9 hours of streaming absolutely will.
As you can see, you heard his take on it. Sucking the soul out of you, streaming for 9 hours. Well, you don't even gotta stream 9 hours, to be honest. That sounds like more of a choice, if anything. And also, I low-key gotta disagree. Maybe it's because he's sitting in a chair for 9 hours. Now, I'll tell you, I cannot sit in a chair for 9 hours straight. I definitely cannot do that. Not on a normal day-to-day basis. I definitely can't, but I don't see how sitting in a chair and talking to your viewers for 9 hours can be more soul sucking than a 9-to-5 job, you know, because there are some jobs where you are physically moving and doing things that whole shift, the entire shift pretty much. And for the type of streaming it seems he does, all he's doing is sitting in a chair talking to viewers. To be honest, it doesn't get any easier than that. You're talking to viewers, you're reacting to videos. You know, it doesn't get any more difficult than that, if I'm being honest. So I'm gonna have to disagree, but at the same time, it's kind of referring over to what Duke was saying a little bit, because Duke was saying how with a 9-to-5, you can't control your time like you can when streaming. When streaming, you could choose when you take breaks. You could choose when you want to stream. You could choose when to get off. You're able to choose your times the way you want them to. And with a job, you can only do that to a certain extent. So yeah, I don't know. His take was a little crazy. His take was a little bit of a stretch, in my opinion. Now, there's one more streamer who had a kind of semi-opinion on it that caught my attention in terms of why people think streaming is easy. Because some people think streaming is just easy. You're sitting in a chair, talking to an audience, reacting to some videos, playing some games live. I mean, it sounds pretty simple. Doing that stuff is simple, but it doesn't make it easy. And this streamer's name, this is probably the last streamer that you're gonna see a take on from this video, but his name is Agent 000. He explained a little bit why some people think that streaming just looks easy, or it is easy, in that some people don't see streaming actually being a difficult thing at all.
Bros, people think streaming is easy because, people think streaming is easy because people think all streamers are millionaires. And that skews the topic tremendously, because niggas think, because you're being paid more to do it, the job is easier or harder. How much you get paid is completely independent of how easy or hard the job is.
So, as you heard him say, people usually thinking streaming is easier because from the looks of it, it looks like every streamer that streams is making bank off of it. Not that streamers aren't making bank. The top streamers are definitely making bank from streaming, but not every streamer is getting good money. It's all based off of the person, you know? Like, it's based off of like how well their streams are, but it's based off of like them too. And because of that, it is giving people a false narrative on how easy streaming is, just because you are talking to your live chat, your live audience, you know? And so people have a misconception when it comes to that. Now, some people understand that like streaming isn't easy, but some people are willing to take the risk of streaming over like a normal 9 to 5. But in terms of my final conclusion on it, because at the beginning of the video, I was more so, it depends on what type of streamer you are and what type of 9 to 5 it is, in terms of, is streaming harder than a 9 to 5? It's not, streaming is not harder than a 9 to 5. Like overall, it's not harder than a 9 to 5. It's not. Now, before, when I said it depends on the 9 to 5 and like the type of streamer you are and what type of streams you do, that's still like in play. That's still part of my reasoning, but streaming is not harder than a 9 to 5. Now, yeah, you have to put work in, you have to manage your time well, you have to be consistent with your streams, but that's not harder than stocking or moving boxes or lifting things onto trucks or etc. You guys know the normal 9 to 5 jobs. Setting up your stream, talking to your audience, unless you are socially awkward or can't talk to people, or you know, you just don't know how to talk, then it may be pretty difficult to stream, but overall it's not harder than a 9 to 5. And that's like, I don't know, that's as good of an answer for me as like I can make it in terms of explaining like my part on it. You know, some people still might have a different opinion and think streaming is just super hard, or that is harder than an i5. Some people may think that, and then some people may think that like streaming ain't hard at all. Look, you not gonna know yourself until you just start streaming yourself. After you start streaming yourself, you'll know the pros and cons of it. But that's the end of the video, y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed and understood my take on whether streaming is harder than a 9 to 5. It's not, y'all, but there are different aspects to a 9 to 5 compared to streaming. So until then, I'll see y'all later.
It's not in here. Y'all wasn't recording, were you? Oh, my bad.